Hey everybody, welcome back to Reasons for Truth. I'm your host, Stevie Garaballo. Reasons for Truth. Truth comes first. Reasons come last. Always constantly learning. Today I want to do something. I'm doing a little work. See my shirt, Equipped Academy. But we're going to talk about predestination versus, Extreme-Calvinism versus predestination. We'll give you a top line. We'll go from there. Took some notes with me. So how do Christians differentiate or handle these issues of God's predestination as it relates to the doctrine of salvation? And listen, if there's one subject that I could say I'd give $1 million to hear just a concise answer, I think we'll get one in heaven. It's this question of predestination, right? Today I'm going to address the issue according to some data that I've got from Dr. Ron Rhodes. So let's get started. If I got $1, or better yet, with inflation, $1 million every time I was asked, hey, Steve, are you an Arminian or are you a 5-point Calvinist? I'm definitely not 5-point Calvinist in its extreme form. I am in a moderate form, but, according to the 5-point Calvinism, predestination in spite of foreknowledge, according to extreme Calvinism, God operates with such unapproachable sovereignty that his choices are made with no consideration at all to the choices of human beings. In other words, humans have no choice in where they're going to go. So, right, God's sovereignty saves whoever he wishes to save, and he sends to hell, damnation, whoever he wants to. Now, according to the Arminians, listen, it's simple. For them, God's predestination is based on his foreknowledge. And in this view, you have God in his omniscience, means he knows all things. Hey, he knows what you're going to say. Are you going to accept Jesus? Or are you not going to accept Jesus? And then, therefore, he sends you to heaven or hell based on, he kind of knows beforehand. So it's on this basis of foreknowledge that God elects for salvation or for he knows to accept Christ. But the problem with this view of just saying, hey, he knows beforehand is that the Bible doesn't only indicate that God knows things in advance. It also indicates that God actually determines what will happen. Isaiah 14:24, 46:10, and Proverbs 16:9. So you can look those up for yourself. According to moderate Calvinism, God's predestination is in accordance with his foreknowledge, okay? According to this view, God's election is based on neither on his foreknowledge, Arminianism, nor in spite of his foreknowledge, Extreme Calvinism. Make sense? Clear as dirt? So I hope that it makes some sense. In conclusion, kind of the answer to the question, I think, of predestination or not is accordance to the foreknowledge of God, 1 Peter 1:2, which tells us in the ESV, accordance to the foreknowledge of God the Father in the sanctification of the Spirit for obedience to Jesus Christ and for what? Sprinkling with his blood, may grace and peace be multiplied to you. Okay? In this view, there's no chronological or logical priority of election and foreknowledge. All aspects of God's eternal purpose are equally timeless and simultaneous. How about that? And in the end, both the divine sovereignty and human freedom are fully operational in this system. You're saying, really, Steve? Absolutely. Some things I'm not certain we're going to understand fully, like 200% until we get there, but I do know that we have free choice and God determines. Now, he predestines. How all that is worked out, that's the best answer I think I've seen by Dr. Ron Rhodes. And this answers a question, though, I think is best we're going to get as to different Christians, how they handle the issue of God's predestination in light of the doctrine of salvation. So I hope this helps. Make sure you do a couple things, because we're always learning. Remember, you stop learning, you can stop teaching, or at least stop teaching well. You could always teach. You could always just teach unwell. That's not really a word. Not well. That's better. All right. Make sure you do a couple things. Take a course, equippedacademy.com. I got a lot of courses, everything from understanding God rightly with his attributes. Again, that's a top-line course at the moment. We'll probably get more in-depth in the future on that. But also, you got courses on God and government, Christians and political discourse. We even have business, leadership, and strategies for success on there now. That's really cool. And then we have other courses. We have the basics, which gets into apologetics. And we're going to be getting some biblical teaching of the books as well in the future. So God's blessings to you. Do that. And one last thing. Bam! Gonzio Sinistro. Give me Italian right hook. Subscribe to this channel. And then we'll see you over at the next episode and you won't miss one. I'm your host, Stevie Garofalo, and this is your Reason for Truth for today.